All right, so we're just going to start any comfortable position you wanted to. So we're going to start seated, but I noticed a couple of people were lying down. If you want to lie down and that's your energy at the moment, then do that. And you can just pick up when you feel like it, or adapt the positions. But let's start seated otherwise, and just have the eyes closed or just looking towards the floor. So you can rest the hands in the lap or on the knees. And take a couple of deeper breaths that you can sigh out through the mouth. So feel that with every time you breathe out, that you release some stress or tension that you're holding in the body. So particularly in the shoulders or the jaw. And then you can just relax the breathing and continue with a more steady pace of breath, but with the mouth closed and in and out through the nose. And we're just going to start circling the body, so creating circles around the spine. They're called Sufi circles. So kind of like just winding yourself inwards, where we've been focusing outwards all day. Just bring your attention into the body and just these gentle meditative movements. So no need to be achieving anything particularly with this, just gentle circling. And then we can just start to go the other way with your circles. And we'll start to make the circles smaller and slower and start to come into your center, so that you end up making tiny little circles and then just coming to a complete standstill. And you can keep the eyes closed at this point. And then we'll just we'll go into the neck. So let the right ear come to the right shoulder. And then as you exhale, roll the chin down towards the chest and up towards the left shoulder. And as you exhale again, then roll the chin down and up towards the right shoulder. Breathing in there and roll the chin all the way down. And one more time, that semicircle. And then making a complete circle with the head, so you look up towards the ceiling and then roll towards the floor. So drawing a few slow circles with your head. And you can go in the other direction as well when you're ready. And then bring the head back to the center. And we'll just do one longer stretch. So take the ear back down to the right shoulder again. And we're going to turn the chin towards the armpit. So turn the chin towards the body and take the left hand towards the floor and the right hand on top of the head. So you're getting just a gentle weight on top of the head, and the stretch is in the left hand side of the neck. So relax the left shoulder. And just one more breath. And And then lift up the right hand and let the head come back up to center. And we'll do the other side. I just do a few little movements in between to loosen up, and then drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Look towards the armpit and the hand just resting on top of the head, and the right hand towards the floor, so that the right shoulder could be relaxed. And then about 3 breaths. So not particularly pulling on the head, but just let the arm be a weight to assist with the stretch. And then lift up the hand and let the head float back up to the center. And the final one will be just dropping the chin down towards the chest, and both hands come onto the back of the head. So you're just gently stretching the back of the neck. And then lift the hands and let the head float back up. And we'll uncross the legs and send the legs out in front of you and just rest back on the hands. And we'll just rotate the ankles, so you're creating little circles with the ankles. And go the other way as well. So I'm really pointing my toes downwards to get a nice stretch on the front of the feet. Feels really nice after being standing all day. And then bring the feet back to the center, and then just open the toes really wide, like you're spreading the toes wide, and then scrunch them all up. So open the toes really wide and scrunch them up like you're making a little fist with your toes, opening up wide. Scrunch them up, and then just one more time. And scrunch them up. And then we're just going to point the feet away from you so that it's really long on the front of the feet. And then bring your toes back towards you and push the heels away. So you're stretching the backs of the legs, and point the toes away so you're long at the front, and pointing the heels away. So pointing the toes and then reaching through the heels. And one more time like that. And we could finish off in that pointed toe position. Bring the heels together and bring the hands towards each other behind you, so you can really lift up the chest, thinking of like a pigeon puffing its chest out. So you lift your chest up towards the ceiling, look up towards the ceiling, and we'll do 3 lion's breaths. So take a nice big inhalation, and on your out breath, the tongue comes out all the way to the chin. 2 more like that, big starey eyes towards the ceiling. And then just come back up. So the feet are going to come up about as wide as your mat, and drop the knees down to one side and down to the other side, just loosening out the back. And we'll bring the knees back to the center and just swing the heels round to the left hand side. So I've got the left foot tucked in right next to my hip, and the right foot is on the left knee, so that the shin is straight in front of me like that. And then I'm going to interlace the hands and take them behind the head, and open up the elbows and lift up the chest as you breathe in, and as you exhale, bring the elbows towards each other and look down towards the belly. So inhale to open, and exhale to come all the way in. And then just go like that for a few times, in time with your own breath. And you can really think of on the exhalation, drawing the pelvic floor in and drawing the core muscles in so that the stomach is also working. Lengthening and lifting through the spine on the inhalation. And this time let's hold on the inhalation with the elbows open. You don't have to hold the breath in, sorry. And then the left elbow, we're going to take it down towards the floor. So it's pointing to the floor and the right elbow is pointing towards the ceiling. And then come back up again and lift both arms up and nice and wide. And then we'll take the right hand to the floor behind you, the left hand on the left hip. And breathe in here, and as you exhale, lift the left hip up so that you can look behind you. So inhale to come back to the center, and exhale to scoop the left hip up, looking over the shoulder on your exhale. And again, we're just going in time with your breath. A really nice one for stabilizing the sacroiliac joint and all around the hips. So we'll just do one more like this. And then bring the left hand towards the floor as well. So just get comfortable where you are with your left hand and your right hand, with your both hands on the floor, sorry. And then looking towards that side of the room. So I've kind of straightened through the back, so I feel like the twist is in my lower back. And this stretch on the front of the left leg as well. I'm just trying to find a bit of rhythm with the breath and soften the breath. And if you want to, you could come down onto the elbows and you could come further round towards the back of the room if you've got space in the back, and it will just change the twist a little bit. And again, just about 3 or 4 breaths there. And we'll come back up on the hands and walk the hands around to the front so that we're leaning over the right knee. And the chest is just over the knee, and we reach forward so we come down onto the elbows. Again, you could be up on the hands or on the elbows, or you could fold onto your forehead. And this is the animal relaxation pose. So feeling like an animal curled up under a tree somewhere. And seeing if you could just soften your expression at all. If there feels like there's holding in the jaw, the lips. And then just come to lift the head and prop back up on the hands. And leaning into that side, swing the legs out. And we'll come to the other side. So the feet will come up to the right hand side. And just adjust yourself so you feel comfortable. The left foot is on the right knee. And we're going to interlace the hands again, but try and interlace them the awkward way round, so you'll know what that is. Take the hands behind the head and open up the elbows. Inhale to look up and open the chest, and exhale to curl all the way in. So we're really opening up the spine with these gentle flexions in the spine. And the breath really helps create space. And Hatha yoga is all about finding balance. So we do everything on both sides equally because it challenges us to use parts of our brain that we're not familiar with using. We always choose the same comfortable path. So this just helps us out of it. So we'll pause now in the open elbow position and then just tip the right elbow down towards the floor and the left elbow up towards the ceiling. And then come back up, open up the arms, and we'll take the left hand on the floor behind you, the right hand on the right hip, and then inhale here, and as you exhale, scooping up the right hip so it turns you towards the back of the room. Inhale to come back to the front, and exhale to look towards the back, and just moving in time with your breath. One more time. And then we'll stop facing that way and we'll place the right hand on the floor and the left hand on the floor. And I'm just facing the side of the room now rather than the back. Noticing where you feel it in your body. So it could be that it feels like a nice stretch on the front of the tummy. And then we'll come down onto the elbows and possibly easing towards the back of the room a little bit more, and then you get that twist slightly higher up in the back. If that's comfortable, always make sure that you feel comfortable and steady so that the mind can relax. Because when the body feels agitated and the body feels uncomfortable, then the mind will be exactly the same. So if we treat our body lovingly and with respect, the mind can settle. So just one more breath there. And then we'll come back up on the hands and walk the hands all the way around so that you're over the left knee, and we'll come down onto the elbows or onto the forehead, choosing the position that feels most comfortable for you. Another 2 or 3 breaths. And then we'll lift up the head and bring the legs back out and have the legs in front of you, and I'll just sit sideways so that you can see what I'll be doing. So the feet are together and the legs are straight, and we just place the hands down by the side so that you're in this stick pose, it's called. And we're going to inhale and lift the hands up, and as you exhale, reach over the tops of the feet, and as you inhale, come to sit up, so you're reaching forward, sitting up, and exhale and lean back. Inhale to reach up to the ceiling, and as you exhale, elbows come right in and you can do a big exhalation. So inhale to lift up, exhale over the feet, Inhale to sit. And exhale to lean back using your tummy muscles. Inhale to reach up. And exhale, release. Another time. Exhale forwards. Inhale to sit. Exhale to lean back. Inhale to reach up. And exhale to release. So I'm going to change it slightly. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to reach forwards. Inhale to sit. And exhale to reach back. And we'll hold it here. And inhale, lift the left foot. And exhale to lower. And inhale, lift the right foot. And exhale to lower. And inhale to sit up. And exhale, release. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, reach forwards. Inhale to come to sit. And exhale to reach back. Slightly different again. Inhale, lift the left foot. And bring the right elbow to the left knee. So it's like a little side crunch. Reach forward. Leg comes down. Inhale, up. Exhale, release. One more time on the other side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to come forwards. Inhale to seated. Exhale to come back. Inhale, the right foot comes up. Exhale, left knee to right knee. Left elbow to right knee. Reach out. Lower down. Inhale to lift up. And exhale, release. And then you can bring the knees up and hug the knees in. And bring the forehead in towards the knees so you're curled up in a little ball. So I love that cosmic egg position here. You all know that. I like this one. Just balancing on your bum. So you can lift up your toes in this position and see if you can balance it like a little egg. All curled in. And then land the toes back down. And we'll roll over to kneeling. So we can do a little kneeling position just to release. So I'd say just some freestyle movement, whatever feels good to you. For me, it feels like some big circles. For you, it might feel different. So do whatever you want here from the position of hands and knees. Maybe moving a little slower than you would normally. And maybe closing your eyes so you could move intuitively and just start to move the spine in a way that you haven't done before. Can you make a shape with your body that you've never done before? And the next couple of breaths will come back to a neutral spine. So you're just on hands and knees. And we'll let the hips sink forwards. And you could just rock the hips from side to side. Might feel quite nice. And then just let the hips sink forwards and draw the chest through the shoulders. So you're really lifted, and you could lift your knees if you want to. So you're just on your feet and your hands, tops of the feet, and then let the knees come back down to the floor and sit back on the heels. Forehead comes to the floor for your child's pose. Okay, we'll come back up to all fours. And from all fours, just tuck both toes, or tuck all toes under, and then push upwards so that you're in a downward dog. So you're in an upside down V position, and you can
bend one knee and stretch the other leg. Bend the other leg, stretch the other knee. Just walking your dog. So you're gently stretching the backs of your hamstrings. And then we're just going to lift up the right leg really high and lift the heel of the left foot really high. Look forwards so that you're in a really extended position, and then sweep the right leg all the way forwards and come to a long lunge. So you can always come down to kneeling to make that transition because it's not always accessible, that long lunge. So we're going to sink the hip forwards here and lift the head and lift the chest. You could come onto your fingertips. So you're in a long runner's lunge, and you could sweep the arms up and overhead, maybe looking up towards the ceiling, maybe reaching back a little bit, and then bring the hands back down to the floor. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee and come back to your downward dog, or come back through kneeling. And then we'll go on the other side. So left leg comes right up towards the ceiling. Right heel lifts nice and high, and lift the head so you're looking ahead of you. And then sweep the left foot towards the front of the mat. So you're in a long lunge with the left foot at the front and the back knee on the floor. And then again, you could come up on your fingertips, lift the head, lift the chest, and then sweep the hands up and overhead, keeping the inner thighs working towards each other. And then bring the hands to the floor. And from this position, we're going to come to a standing forward fold. So tuck the back toes, lift the back knee and come towards the front of the mat, and fold the face in towards the knees. And let the head be all loose and shake it yes and no a few times. You could just shake the shoulders like you're a rag doll just hanging there. And then lift up the head and take the arms out towards the side so you can come all the way up to standing, bringing the hands together, and exhale, bring the hands down to the heart. Alright, so we're going to be facing the wide edge of your mat, or it doesn't really matter which edge you're on. So let's take the feet wide apart. And the toes are facing out and the heels are in. And we're going to reach up the arms, breathe in. And as you exhale, squat down deeply and bring the elbows down. So inhale to stretch the arms and straighten the legs. And exhale, bending the knees, bending the elbows. One more time like that. The goddess pose. Exhale, we're going to hold the position. So knees are bent and elbows are about shoulder height. Have the fingers really wide apart and feel like you're shooting energy out of the fingers and out of the toes. Grounded through the tailbone. And then straighten the arms, straighten the legs. And then we're going to turn to the left. So the left foot is facing the front and the right heel turns away from you. And you're in a long lunge again with the arms out at shoulder height. So the left foot's at the front and you're looking across the left hand. And then we're going to turn the left hand up towards the ceiling and reach it up towards the ceiling. And then look up towards the hand if it's comfortable with your neck and keep the front knee nice and bent. The proud warrior pose. And then straighten your front leg and reach all the way forwards with your left hand until it comes down towards your leg, and lift the right arm up towards the ceiling. So you're in a triangle position. Like your whole body is sandwiched between two panes of glass. You're nice and flat with the back leaning back. Now we're going to bring the right hand down towards the floor. And staying in the same position with your legs, lifting the left arm up towards the ceiling behind you. So you're in a revolved triangle pose. Don't worry, it does feel awkward, this one. And then bring the hands down. Walk the hands around to the middle of your mat. So you're in a wide angle forward fold, and let the head, or the crown of the head, just hang towards the floor again. And if you can get the hands to the floor, you can press them into the floor. If you feel comfortable, you might widen your stance a little bit. One more breath there. And then lift up the head and walk the heels and the toes in once or twice so you can come back up to standing. And we'll go from the other side. You might want to flip round so that you'll be on the right side for when we have the right foot facing forwards. So we're going to reach up the arms and we're going to be in our wide goddess pose. So exhale to bend the elbows and bend the knees. Inhale to stretch and straighten everything. Exhale to come down. Inhale to straighten. And this time we'll exhale and hold the position. So feel really strong and grounded in the lower body. And think of the kind of fierceness of this position. If you think of any of the goddesses, Kali, just grounded, absolute, taking no rubbish, but also deep compassion and that connection to the earth. So straighten the legs, straighten the arms out to the side, and with the right toes are facing forward, the left heel turns away from you. So you can bend the right knee and flip the right hand up towards the ceiling and reach up towards the ceiling. So you've got your proud warrior again, with the right arm reaching towards the ceiling. And then straighten the front leg and reach all the way forwards with the right hand towards your leg, and the left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. And you could look up towards that hand if it's comfortable for you. And then we'll bring the left hand towards the floor. Keep the feet where they are and bring the right hand up behind you towards the ceiling. Notice how differently it feels breathing in this position. And then we're going to bring both hands to the floor and take a long lunge facing that right foot so that you can step backwards. We're going to turn into a lying position. So knees come to the floor, belly comes to the floor, and then just rest your head down on one side. And the arms could be down beside you or under your head, wherever you feel comfortable. And just notice how it's never felt so good to lie flat on your floor before. And we're just going to turn the head to the other side.
And then we're just going to reach both arms straight out in front of you. I'm just about exactly as wide as my whole room here. Hopefully you're in a slightly bigger room. So forehead can come to the floor. And then we're going to lift the right hand up with the arm outstretched and the left leg, and lift the head to look at the right hand. And then exhale to lower everything down to the floor. And inhale to lift the left arm and the right leg. Exhale to lower down. So go like that, opposite sides in your own time. So lifting on your inhalation and exhale to lower. It might only be a really slight lift. We'll do one more on each side. And then if you like, you could try both together. So both hands and feet lifting and lowering. Like you're flying like Superman. And you could lift and hold if you want to try for that. So holding the hands and the feet up, looking towards the hands, possibly lifting everything just a fraction higher, and then lower down, let the head come towards the floor again. And then we have the option of the bow pose. So we'll do it by halves first. So bring the left foot in towards the bum and reach back to hold on to it with the left hand. And that is one option. And you could turn your hand around so you're holding the inside of your foot, and lift up the knee off the floor. So that is a little more challenging. So that's two options. You can either just hold the foot in towards the bum, or you can lift it. And then we'll do that on the other side as well. So take the right foot in towards the bum and just hold it there to get the stretch. So remembering to kind of tuck your tailbone down towards the floor as you're doing this. And then that turning the hand towards the inside of the foot. And if you want to lift, make sure your knee feels happy with this and your back. And then lower. So choose one of those options, or you could bring both feet in, hold the insides of the feet, and lift both thighs off the floor. And then as you breathe, you can kind of rock on your belly, so you're in a boat. Just holding for as long as you're comfortable. Don't wait for me to tell you to come down. And when you do come down, just rest the head on the hands. And then we're just going to take the roll onto the back. Sorry, we're going to roll onto the back and lie on the back with the knees hugged in. Or with the feet on the floor if that feels better for you. So just some way to release your lower back. I find it's quite nice to just hug my knees in and circle the knees around. But if you think you want to do something else, then do that instead. So you could just be rocking from side to side. It's as if you're using the floor to massage your lower back. And if you are comfortable with the hugging, you could just hug the knees all the way in. And as you exhale, bring the nose towards the knees and just hug in a little hedgehog ball. Again, you can rock from side to side there if that's comfortable.
And then let the head rest down. Let the feet come towards the floor. Take the arms out in a T shape along the floor. And then just drop the knees open so you have a diamond shape in between the knees. So the feet are together and the knees are open out towards the sides. And you could close your eyes here if you want. Another option is to reach the arms overhead so that they're resting on the floor behind you. Or even to rest the hands on the belly or on the womb space. So just notice how the position of the hands really changes how it feels psychically. And we'll just use this as a resting pose. If it doesn't feel like a resting pose, you could pop some cushions under your knees, or you could straighten the legs, or have the feet on the floor with the knees bent, because it's not for everyone, this position. But once you're in a comfortable position, then just focusing the internal gaze. So you got your eyes closed, but you can still look to your third eye space, the space in between your eyebrows. And you might notice thoughts popping up there, or images. And a nice practice is just to allow them to float off as if they're all sitting on a little cloud, and you can just let them float into the distance. And with the next few breaths, just seeing if you could soften anywhere else, maybe in the jaw or the hips. And we're going to come straight from this position, bring the knees back up and straighten the legs out so that we're in our relaxation pose in Shavasana. So you can just let the feet flop, and you can let the hands flop out to the sides with the palms facing up. And it is quite warm anyway, but make sure that you're not going to get cold lying where you are. And for the first few moments, we'll just practice a breathing exercise, or it's a kind of a visualization as well. So you're imagining that there's a great big sun at the crown of your head. So right at the top of your head, you can either feel the warmth of the sun, or you can visualize this golden white light. And as you breathe in, breathe this light down through the head, and take the breath all the way into the belly. And exhale, let the breath come all the way back up. And inhale to breathe this light down into your belly. Exhale to go back up, to collect more. Inhale. So it's like you're charging your batteries, and just see your belly filling up with this light. This is called solar plexus charging. And you could visualize the light and the breath traveling down through the crown of the head, down the back of the spine. And going back up again on the exhalation.
Just a few more times like this. And then you could just finish that practice and let the breath completely relax. Feel the whole of the back of the body heavy on the floor. And feel the whole of the front of the body light, open up to the sky. Feel that you are being held by the earth as if she was your mother, the Mother Earth. So feeling that sense of letting go into being held. And we'll lie here for a few more minutes and I'll ring a little chime when we're finished. So with that sound of the bells, just bring your attention back into the body from wherever it might have drifted. And take the breath a little deeper. And very slowly just starting to wake the body up through fingertips and toes wiggling. And moving in this way and that way, so just stretching whichever way you would like, whichever way you would wake up in the morning. And end up just lying on one side of the body for a couple of moments. It doesn't matter which side. And then just coming back up to seated whenever you're ready to. We will just be rubbing the hands together to get the blood flowing and get the hands warm again if they've cooled down a bit. And you could just massage the wrists a bit. And then with the nice warm hands, place them wherever you would like to. I feel like neck and shoulders is something that I need today. And so let the warmth just come into the neck and the shoulders if that's where you have them. And you could do a little bit of massage on yourself. So just nice firm massage with a very loving touch, as if you were massaging somebody else. And it can be really nice just to draw the fingers away from the bone at the back of the neck, the spine, and just comb away from the spine. And draw the flesh from the back of the shoulders towards the front with kind of nice combing movements. So don't be afraid to be a little bit firm. And then you could reach up into the back of the head with firm sort of fingertips up into the back of the skull. And then just let the hands settle on the shoulders and close the eyes. And let the warmth of the hands just be a reassuring touch on the shoulders. And then we'll just finish by taking both hands up to the sky in Prana Mudra. And just seeing how that feels to you, that position. Maybe feeling everything that you feel grateful for today. And then just bring the hands to the heart in Namaste. And then we finish by bowing towards yourself. Namaste.